Hey, it's Erin from Book Things and Baubles, and today I'm going to teach you how to engrave on tile with the Glowforge. So I really like experimenting with doing different things with my Glowforge. I mostly work with wood, but I have tried a few other different materials and I'm starting to branch out even more, trying more materials. And so today I wanted to teach you how to etch on tile, because I think tile is, number one, a pretty cheap material that you can etch on and put in your Glowforge. I went to Lowe's and I got these 6x6 square tiles. They're just white ceramic, but you should be able to print on ceramic or porcelain, but today I am talking about printing on ceramic tiles. And I got this for, I don't know, $1, less than $1 maybe. I also have experimented in the past with printing on tile to make magnets. So I have these magnets that I made. It says it's not hoarding if it's books, which I like books if you couldn't tell from the name of my channel. But these tiles actually came as like a set. I got like 32 or something. I don't know, maybe not 32. It was probably 16 tiles actually. I got 16 of these little white ceramic tiles from Lowe's, and they come all hooked together in kind of a mosaic pattern. But these are perfect for making magnets on if that's something you're interested in. But today I am going to etch on this square 6x6 tile to make a trivet. Like I said, I am teaching you how to engrave on the tile in this video, but I'm also going to teach you and kind of experiment with how to add color to your tile engravings once they've been engraved. So this one, I used Sharpies to fill in the colors. So the nice thing about Sharpies is that you can color, you know, the different parts, the colors that you want. So I did blue on here and then black down here. So you either take a towel or a paper towel, and after you fill in the etched parts with your Sharpie, you just rub it off. So the reason why that works is because when you are etching on the Glowforge, or engraving on tile on the Glowforge, basically what the Glowforge does is it strips off the top, like, outer layer of the tile. So this is shiny ceramic tile, so it strips off that layer and it leaves a porous underlayer. And basically, when you add in the Sharpie will go into the porous holes and kind of seep in there. You might have to let it sit a little while, or you might want to do several layers of it. But after that, then you can just wipe off the rest of the Sharpie. It kind of takes some elbow grease to do that, but this is the result that you get. And it's a pretty good result, but I think the color isn't maybe as vibrant as I like it to be. And sometimes on these as well, you'll accidentally, you know, use too much elbow grease when you're trying to get, you know, it off, and you end up rubbing out some of the coloring. And so it doesn't look horrible, but I am going to experiment with some different ways to paint ceramic today. So another thing that I learned my first time printing on tile with these was that it is very, 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 very important to have laser glasses if you're going to print on tile. And the reason I say that is because when I was first looking into the Glowforge, people recommended getting the laser goggles, and so I bought some laser goggles. And then after my first print, you know, when I printed with wood, I was like, oh, this isn't bad. I don't need these goggles. And so I never usually wear goggles when I'm printing on the Glowforge because it just doesn't seem that bright. I don't know. But I found that printing on the tile, because it is such a shiny, reflective surface with the tile, it is so bright when you get the laser on there and the laser starts cutting. It is very, very, very bright. you can damage your eyes. So I would encourage all of you to get laser goggles if you plan on cutting tile or other reflective, shiny surfaces. I will link the goggles I have down below, so if you're interested in those, but just be warned that printing on tile is very, very, very bright, and it does have the chance to damage your eyes if you do not wear goggles. So there's a disclaimer for you. But what I'm actually going to do today, cutting on this trivet that I'm going to do, is I'm actually planning on masking the tile to see what that does, and to also help me with the painting that I'm going to do later on my tile. So we'll experiment here, experimenting this with me. I've never done this before, but we will see how masking tile works and if the painting I have in mind is going to work. So let's get started. So first I am going to prep my design in Inkscape. I'm going to start off by making a square the same size as my tile, so 6 inches by 6 inches. And then I am going to center the design I'm going to use. So this mandala design I actually got on designbundles.net. They have paid files, but then they also have free files if you sign up for an account with them. So I found these mandalas on for free on that website. They have a lot of really good designs on there, so I would definitely recommend doing that. So once the mandala is uploaded, then I'm just going to center it using the centering tools in Inkscape. I did a text tutorial on Inkscape, but let me know if you would be interested in just basics of Inkscape, or if you have any other questions about using the using Inkscape with the Glowforge. I'd be happy to make videos on any questions you have about this as well. And then I just changed the stroke and the fill on the mandala so that they were different than my box, so that the Glowforge knows I have 2 different functions. And with that, my file's ready. Next, I'm going to mask my tile. I've got a link down below to the masking that I use, but basically I'm just going to line it up, smooth it out, and then use a scalpel to cut the small square out that I want so that I can see the outline of the tile well. This will help me make sure I'm able to center my design once the tile is in the Glowforge. So you'll want to measure the thickness of your tile. I measured mine and it was 0.25 inches, so that's what I input as the thickness, but you'll just want to input your thickness as whatever your tile is that you're working on. Then after you center your design, you are ready to put in your settings. So I am going to make sure the Glowforge ignores the square, and then I'm going to put in the Engrave settings. So I already have these saved, but the settings are 1000 speed, full power, and 450 DPI. I got these settings from the community tab in the Glowforge community area, and I will link the article that I got these from down below. But I have used these settings before, and they work so well. Basically, like I said before, they are just stripping away that top layer of the tile and just leaving the porous stuff underneath. So we'll see, and hopefully this will still work well with masking. I'm not anticipating any kind of problems having the masking on there, but we'll see. But the thing with engraving tile is because it is such high power, it does take a long time to engrave. So this print actually ends up being about an hour. So it's not a quick project, but it is definitely a worthwhile project. And once you have your laser glasses on, you're ready to go. Okay, I think that this looks really, 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 really good. I'm very pleased with that. So now that this is done printing, the idea is that I'm going to leave all of the tape on and I'm going to spray paint over the top. So the The tape will keep the paint from getting onto the parts of the tile I don't want it on, and it will just go into the lines, and I'll just let that seep in. I might add some clear coat over the top of the paint just so that everything seals in nicely, but that's what we're going to do next. Let's go paint. So after letting the paint dry, I'm ready to peel the tape off. I started by using a scalpel to try and get the paint off, but eventually I realized that that was going to be way too slow, so I tried using tape, and it took a couple tries, but eventually I was able to get all of the painted on tape off with my duct tape that I am using to lift it off. So that is definitely the way to go to get all of these teeny tiny pieces off. Okay, so here it is with all of the paint peeled off. I really love how it turned out, but you can see that it did bleed through in a couple of spots, and also along the side. That side is very pink, but I am going to see if I can clean it up, and I'll show you the finished product. Okay, so here is the finished product. I was able to clean it up a little bit with some Q-tips and some alcohol, and actually, you know, the alcohol worked really well in just getting all the paint that bled through off of the non-engraved part of the tile and leaving it where it was engraved. So I am super happy with how this turned out. I think it looks so cool, and I'm excited to experiment some more. I think spray painting for me is the way I'm going to do my tile in the future and avoid the Sharpies, just because, let me show you, just because I did have some trouble sometimes with the Sharpies. I just don't think it looks as neat and clean as the spray paint, but that could also be because the larger the lines you're engraving, then the more likely it is that you're going to rub out the paint or rub out the color when you know, try and get the paint off. So this one was done with Sharpie. This one was done with tape and paint. And like I said, I really like how this painted one turned out. I think if you haven't tried tile yet, you should definitely try it. Like I said, you can find tile at Lowe's for super cheap. Maybe you have some laying around your house already from a renovation project, but definitely give it a go. You can get some really cool results. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you found this helpful and that it got you excited to try out working with tile on your Glowforge. If you don't have a Glowforge yet, but you're thinking about buying one, I would really appreciate it if you used my referral link down below. That gives you money off of a Glowforge, and it also gives me credits, which really help me out and my business. And if you are interested in the Glowforge, if you have a Glowforge or are thinking about purchasing one, consider subscribing. I make videos about the Glowforge every single Wednesday. So if you have any questions about the Glowforge, about working with tile, about spray painting, anything at all, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I'm happy to answer questions. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye.